Hi, I'm Anna, and this is my Eurovisionathon TBR. First of all, Eurovisionathon is a readathon based, of course, on Eurovision. Eurovision is an important song contest in Europe, although there's a country that's not in Europe that somehow got in a couple of years ago because they were invited and somehow stayed. It is organized by the wonderful Helen from Helen's Book Haven. I'll link her down below. She's, trust me, a very, very beautiful person. So highly recommend you check out her channel and the readathon. I'll also link the readathon down below. The Twitter for the readathon, it runs from the 24th of April up to the 22nd of May, which is when Eurovision starts, when the final happens. There are 39 countries this year because there was also Belarus that withdrew from the contest before it started. And we are supposed to read one book per country. No doubling up, but you don't have to read all of them, to be honest. You get extra points, though, if you read the books that correspond to the finalists. I believe there are 10 finalists. If I'm not right, I'll write the number somewhere on the screen. And I'm crazy because I bought I don't know, 5 or 6 books throughout the past couple of months to participate. And I got some others on Scribd, some on audio. And I have some kind of beasts to read. So I'll highly likely not read the 40 because I cannot read 40 in a month, especially because I'm at uni and I work and stuff. But I'll do my best to include those countries I think would qualify and the big 5 plus the host, which is the Netherlands this year. Okay, now let's go for the countries, the books. I'll tell you why I chose them and which format I'll be reading them on. First country is in alphabetical order is Albania, for which I'll be reading The File on Age by Ismail Kadare on Kindle, on ebook. And I chose this one because Ismail Kadare is an Albanian author. Second country is Australia. And for that one, I'll be reading This Mortal Coil by Emily Savara. This is the first one in a duology. I'm not sure what the name of the duology is. And it even has this because it has been on my TBR previously and I haven't read it. So I decided to take the chance and read it now. Then we have Austria. And for that one, I'm going to read Napoleonic Symphony by Burgess. This one is in Spanish. It's based on Napoleon's war and conquest, and basically that includes Austria. There was an important battle in Austria, and the structure is based on the Napoleonic Symphony by Beethoven, which is the 3rd symphony, which I absolutely love. And I just don't know exactly how it tackles Napoleon and history, but I'm up if it's a historical fiction. For Azerbaijan, I'll be reading Over My Dead Body, Murdered Eurovision on Kindle. That I'm sure. And that's by Christoph Fischer. I know nothing, but it has to do with Eurovision, so it's just perfect for the readathon. And Helen let me know that it includes Azerbaijan because I asked her which hard country to get does it talk about. So Azerbaijan's in. For Belgium, I'll be reading Miss McGinty's Dead by Agatha Christie because her detective star is Hercule Poirot, who is Belgian. And, if you don't know Agatha Christie, which I doubt, she writes mysteries, and I really, really love her books. For Bulgaria, if I get to this one, I'll attempt to read The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. This book, this beast is, let me, 698 pages, which is 700 basically. Let's round it up. And there are travels to Bulgaria on this book. And I know it's a thriller, but I know nothing else from it. And this one is in Spanish, so I cannot read the synopsis to you. For Croatia, I'll be reading The Hired Man by Aminata Fona. I know nothing from this book. I just know it happens in Croatia, at least partially, so here we go. For Cyprus, I'll listen to Mythos by Stephen Fry, and I absolutely love Stephen Fry as a narrator, as a comedian, I love this guy. So, and I love Greek myths. Even though this is kind of a parody, I'll be so happy to have a laugh with Stephen Fry for this one. And of course, Cyprus is in because, it's about Greek mythology. For Czech Republic, I'll be reading the book of Blood and Shadow by Robin Wasserman. And what I know is that it happens in Prague. For Denmark, and I will actually start with this one, Eurovisionathon, I'll read The Little Book of Hygge by Meek Viking, and I'm so thrilled to get to this book. This is the Danish Secrets to Happy Living, and it's an non-fiction about how Danish people live their lives and why they really are the happiest people in the world. So I'm in because part of my family is Danish. For Estonia, I'll be reading Purge by Sophie Oksanen. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. And I'll just know it at least partially happens there. No, nothing else. For Finland, I'll be reading Children of Ash and Elm by Neil Price. I requested this one on NetGalley a while ago, haven't gotten to it, so I decided to use Eurovisionathon as an excuse. For France, I'll read Red and Black by Stendhal. This is also in Spanish. I decided to mix languages. And Stendhal was a French author, so pretty self-explanatory. For Georgia, I'll read some Georgian folk tales because I know nothing from their folk tales. And it's anonymous, so no author, but again, pretty self-explanatory while I'm using this one. For Germany, I'll be reading Peeling the Onion. This one is also in Spanish by Günter Grass. He's a German author. And the story is, his story is hard because he was part of Nazi Germany, and then he publicly asked for forgiveness. And this book is about his part when he took part in the SS. So I think it's going to be a hard one to read, but it's also going to be beautiful because he regretted so much everything he had done. So that's a good thing, I reckon, at some point. And it was a Nobel Prize in 1999. For Greece, I'll be reading Law by Alexander Bracken. And I'll read this one this month too, because this is part of the Myth Take Reads book club based on mythology. And this is a retelling of Medusa's story. So, again, very Greek mythology. For Iceland, I'll be reading Snowblind by Ragnar Jonasson. And he's an how do you call people from Iceland? Oopsie. I have no idea. I'll have to check. I'll write it down here. Oh my gosh. It's the first country I don't know. Okay, whatever. The thing is, he's from Iceland, and the book also happens there. And I'll be reading that one on ebook. For Ireland, I'll be reading The Irish Cottage, Finding Elizabeth by Juliette Gowin. Gowin. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I'm sorry. But title says it all. For Israel, I'll read The Golem and the Genie by Helen Wecker. And the Golem is part of Jewish mythology. So I'm very happy to find out more about it. I thought it would be nicer to read based on Israel something that is not about the Second World War, but that is about their culture itself. For Italy, I'll read A Villa in Sicily, Olive Oil and Murder by Fiona Grace, and again, titled pretty self-explanatory, and I believe this one is a cozy murder mystery. For Latvia, I'll read The Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan, and I'll listen to this one. It's available on Scribd, at least for me. I don't know if it's for you. Have a look, maybe. And I don't know what it's about, but you tell me bookshop on the corner. I imagine gold cozy, beautiful women's fiction, so don't ask me, but I'll let you know if that's true. For Lithuania, I'll be reading Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys, because I found out she's a Lithuanian-American author. And I had this book on my shelves, and I was like, okay, why not? It's, relatively big, but it's about the Spanish Civil War, so it will also work for Spain. For Malta, I'll read City of Shadows by John Naudi, and the author is from Malta. For Moldova, I'm very happy I didn't get to it when I should have for the Late Night Book Club, because I'll be reading The Power by Naomi Alderman, because it does happen there. For North Macedonia, I'll read Firefly by Henry Potter, because it does happen there. For Norway, I have The Wonderful Sky in the Deep by Adrian Young. I'll also attempt to read this by the end of the month. And well, it's Viking, and I believe it does happen indeed in Norway itself, but if it's Viking, Norway is included in it. Look at that gorgeous cover, I absolutely love it. For Poland, I'll be listening to The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. And of course we know Auschwitz is in Poland, and that's the biggest concentration camp or complex of concentration camps from Nazi Germany. For Portugal, I'm so excited to get to another book by José Saramago. He was a Portuguese writer and is one of my favorite writers of all time. And this is History of the Siege of Lisbon. This book is in Spanish because it's closer to Portuguese, and I couldn't get it in Portuguese. I'm scared of the format. It's just the font. But I love him. He's a quick read. So, he's a quick read for me, and I'm so excited. For Romania, I'll read Half a World Away by Cynthia Kadahata. She's a Japanese-American writer, so nothing to do with that, but I believe at least it happens at least partly in Romania. For Russia, I'll read, it still has a plastic on it, The Death of Ivan Ilyich and Other Stories by Leo Tolstoy. I've never read a book by Tolstoy. Yes, I know I should have, but I haven't. And I know Russians are heavy and slow to read, for me at least, but I really love the way they write, so I'll give it a try. Oh, and just in case, characters and author are Russian. For San Marino, it was very hard to find. This was the hardest to find for me, to be honest. I'm going to read The Gladiator by Harry Turtledove, and I know it does happen in San Marino. And this will also be read as an ebook. For Serbia, I'll read The Tiger's Wife by Thea Obrecht. I don't know if you pronounce it like that, to be honest, I'm sorry. But then the author is Serbian. And I also have this one, an ebook. For Slovenia, I'm reading A Swarm of Dust by Evel Flisser. Again, pronunciation issues. And the author is Slovenian. For Spain, I'll read El Paciente, which is The Patient by Juan Gómez Jurado. He's one of my current favorite thriller writers from Spain. Read 2 books from a trilogy, and another one that's like a companion novel. This is another companion novel, getting ready to somehow get the last one in his trilogy. And the author kindly gifted it to me right after I finished the first book in the trilogy. No, I don't know the author personally, but at some point, like at the very end of the book, he gave his email, like, If you have finished this book and gotten to this point, write me an email, because I have something for you, and he gave me this book, which is a companion novel to the trilogy of the Red Queen, and I'm so very happy. So yeah, The Patient. I believe the book also happened in Spain, and I have this one on ebook. Then for Sweden, I'll read Everything I Don't Remember, but by Jonas Hassan Kemiri, I think it is, and the author is Swedish. And I have this one also on ebook. For Switzerland, I'll read the book of Air and Shadows by Michael Gruber, and I know this one happens in Switzerland. For the Netherlands, I'll read The Wall by Jenk Minkman, who's a Dutch author. For Ukraine, I'll read Everything's Illuminated by Jonathan Safran Foer. He's an American writer, but the book takes place there. And finally, for the United Kingdom, I'll read Trainspotting by Irving Welsh. I know I watched the film many years ago, and I don't know what the writing style is, but I've been so compelled to read the book. And that doesn't mean I'll leave this one for last. Now I'll let you know which countries I think are going to make it, and which others have possibilities. So the host is the Netherlands, so that's a yes. Then we have the UK, Spain. I don't remember the big five, but let me go through my list. I have a list. Okay. I believe Austria is going to make it. Cyprus could make it. Estonia could make it. Finland could make it. Yeah, I have like first and second. I think France is going to be one of the final ones. I think that's one of the big five. Iceland, I believe, has high probabilities. Ireland, maybe Italy, Malta, North Macedonia, Norway, maybe Russia, maybe San Marino, Sweden, and that's it. I already said the Netherlands and the UK. I think those have possibilities, or yes, I believe they're going to be in there. So thank you very much for watching. You can still join Eurovisionathon if you want to participate. I encourage you to do so. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment especially. Let me know what you're going to read, if you're going to participate, if you like Eurovision, what you thought about any of these books, if you have read any, if you feel some of these books appeal to you now that you see them. Subscribe if you want to, if you like my videos. Click the bell for notifications, and I hope you're having a wonderful time. And for those who are going to participate, good luck in Eurovisionathon. Bye!